Snacks! Snack Jacks. Needed today, seriously needed. Coffee is out, Coke Zero is in. Little tip for you guys, if you buy a packet of bagels, don't put them in the cupboard, put them in the freezer and then just frost them. Tastes exactly the same, stops them going mouldy. It's a hot one today in Britain. I think it's like 30 degrees. Completely made that number off the top of my head, but it feels that absolutely sweating my tits off. Thanks mate, see you later. So in today's video I'm going to show you some of the foods that I'm going to be eating in this current off season, or the kind of bulking stage as you call it, and this is what I'm going to basically be eating on a regular basis until I potentially compete next year. So I'm going to show you all the foods, the fats, the proteins, the carbohydrates, all of those. Firstly I'm going to eat my pre-workout, head to the gym, I'm going to show you straight after. Little bit sweaty, I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very hot today. A fantastic push session in the books. Numbers are absolutely flying at the moment. The strength is going on leaps and bounds. As you know, I was in the cutting phase up until my holiday. Numbers were either retained or some of them dropped down a little bit. So it was so nice to kind of get the food in me and obviously get that strength back and kind of overtake where I was before, which I'm coming up to now. So really pleased with the second week training coming back. On today's video, and the main subject is what I'm currently having in this bulking phase, and this is pretty much very similar to what I would have in a cutting phase, just more of, and probably just a few different things that perhaps I wouldn't have in a cutting phase because I have a little bit of leeway with the carbs and the fats. So let's start with protein. So I'm having 4 main protein sources at the moment. Number 1 is chicken breast, and this is something that I've had for such a long time. I don't actually eat much meat anymore, and that's just a personal choice. It's just something that I've kind of decided to do, but I'm still having some chicken, probably 1 or 2 of these a week, and that's probably it. So this is like the 950 grams. That is one of my main protein sources. Okay, I don't have kind of turkey or beef anymore as such, so that is my main protein source, and this is what I'm going to have on a regular basis. My second protein source is John West tuna chunks. This is in spring water. If you want to up your calories a little bit, which would be fantastic in the bulking stage, you can have it with like sunflower oil or something like that, but I'm not a big fan of that, so I just keep it with spring water, and obviously I get my fats from something else. My third one, this is incredible, Sky Greek yogurt, Tesco, 3 for £3. Fantastic in terms of a cutting phase because you can bulk eat this a lot. I think the whole tub itself is literally like, let's say 3 lots of 95, 285 calories, which is incredible for Skyer. So that's a fantastic protein source. Obviously you've got your carbs in there as well. My fourth and final protein source, which has been a staple for such a long time, and this is something that definitely, if you're not getting enough protein into your daily kind of target for your nutrition, this is something that I recommend, and that's whey protein powder. This whey protein powder I've been having for such a long time, for like up to almost a year now, and this is the Time Nutrition Creamy Toffee Pudding. If you don't know, you need to get this one because it's incredible. It's the macros are spot on as well. Decent amount of protein there, lowish fat, very, very nice. That is the protein sources done. Onto the carbs. So onto carbohydrates, and the two foods I'm going to talk about now are foods that I think you should be having on a regular basis, especially if your carbs are going up really, really high. It's so easy to kind of have more kind of sugary carbohydrate foods, and this is something that I've been a culprit before in the past, but definitely try and include as much kind of potato, sweet potato in your diet as possible, as well as non-grain rice. I have basically like basmati. Obviously you can just have wholemeal, or you can have just white rice. Try and have as much of these as possible. You know, these are unrefined carbohydrates. They should basically be the majority of your carbohydrates. The reason I say that is because there is a time and place for simple carbs, your sugars, but most importantly, you know, your starchy carbs are going to be beneficial to your physique. Don't neglect your fruit and veg, guys. Your micronutrients are so important for your health. Still include as much fruit and veg as possible. The vegetables that I go for: broccoli, green beans, carrots, spinach, pretty much every single day. Even though I'm pushing on to like kind of 500 grams of carbs now, I'm still making room for those. Okay, so important. In terms of fruits, I just have banana and mixed fruits as well. Again, I have these in my Greek yogurt. Incredible. Get a whole range of like different micronutrients in there as well. Let's talk pre and post workouts. What are the foods that I currently have pre and post? Or if you follow me on Instagram, or if you watch my YouTube videos, my other ones, you see that I kind of have the same foods pretty much all the time, and I mix it up a little bit. So one food that I always have as a pre-workout, whether I'm cutting or I'm bulking, and that is Scottish porridge oats. Okay, key, serious key. These are the ones. 100 grams of these at the moment. When I was cutting, I was going down to sort of 40, 50. Yeah, sad times. But yeah, back into the game. If you don't cook in the pan, highly recommend. Better than microwave, 100%. Onto the post-workout. Serene. If you don't know about this food, you need to try it, okay? Especially in a bulking phase. This is probably one of the foods that has the lowest volume content ever, in terms of, you know, this bar here is like, I think it's like 700 calories or something like that, and it's tiny. The picture doesn't really do it justice, but it's so small. Fantastic bulking phase. Again, make sure you have this in moderation. Don't absolutely binge eat it. You know, it's got the sugars, as I spoke about a second ago. So have this post-workout sometimes. At the moment, I'm not at that stage where the carbs are really high, but it's going to be included. Another couple post-workout foods I'm having at the moment: rice pudding and bagels. This is the Ambrosia light rice pudding. I have this with jam sometimes as a post-workout foods. Also having bagels, okay? Have this as post-workout, sometimes just during the day. You know, guys, don't be afraid of bread. You know, it's one of those foods I always find in the industry where there's always going to be something that's bad, whether it's carbs. At one stage it was fat was bad, bread's bad, you know, everything in moderation. Don't be afraid of bread at all, unless you're having like a whole pack of bagels every single day. Then maybe not so much. But yeah, these two post-workout. Cocoa Snaps are in, so much better than Cocoa Pops. Why is that? Because basically the Cocoa Pops have 30% less sugar. These don't, okay? So it's going to be a higher GI carbohydrate. Fantastic for post-workout. Again, don't use and abuse this, guys, okay? You know, you want to keep your starchy carbohydrates, but post-workout, absolutely fantastic to replenish the glycogen stores. Snacks! Snack Jacks. Replacing rice cakes at the moment. Rice cakes, old news. Caramel Snacker Jacks are the one, okay? So nice. Again, post-workout, sometimes in the evening as well. So I think that is everything for carbohydrates. I think that's everything that I'm basically having at the moment. Apart from one thing, just gonna close this. Honey, almost forgot. If I'm not having jam, I'm having honey, okay? So I kind of like mix the two up. Again, in terms of the simple carbohydrates, don't go crazy with the sugar, but it's gonna help. It's gonna bump up those calories, those carbohydrate macros throughout the day. That is it, 100% that is it now. On to fat sources. So that wasn't supposed to happen. Anyway guys, almost there. Just a quick word in terms of every kind of carbohydrate, protein, fats. Obviously the ones I'm talking about at the moment, they're not just carbs, fats and proteins. Obviously other foods have other kind of macronutrients in there as well. So for example, like oats, you know, I've talked about it as a carbohydrate source. Understand there's some fat in there and protein as well. So don't think it's just a main carbohydrate source. It's just a range of everything. So I'm just going to go over the 6 main fat sources I'm having at the moment. Obviously eggs, which you saw a second ago. The second one is an avocado, and I'm actually having this with eggs in the morning. My meal one is 1 bagel, 2 eggs, 50 grams avocado. I'm trying to get more better quality fats into my diet. My last off season I was, and you can probably go back to watch other videos, I was having too many other little bits and bobs which I shouldn't not necessarily not be having, but I can have a better quality fat source. So avocado is my second one. Reduced fat cheese, this is just from Tesco. Just block this for like a couple of pounds. Yeah, 30% reduced fat cheese. Dark chocolate, absolute key. This was a game changer when I was cutting down. Not just any kind of dark chocolate. This is normally get like 75% and above. This is actually an offer. This is the 90%. So a little better quality of dark chocolate, and then my nuts and my nut butters. So I've got my almonds, they're the nuts that I normally have, and then this peanut butter is what my client gave me ages ago, which is incredible. I think this is Bulk Powder's Active Food Smooth Roasted Peanut Butter. I'm actually more of a crunchy fan, but this is incredible. This is so nice. So that's everything guys, that's literally everything I'm having in the bulk. I might do a video in the future of like a full day of eating and show you exactly what I'm having. Obviously, you know, there is going to be a lot of food in there. Currently macros wise, I'm having 225 grams of protein, 450, kind of pushing to 475 carbohydrates, 70 grams of fat, not 90 grams. Something that I am going to be doing though is with my carbohydrates, I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to kind of just hold it there, and then my fats are going to increase a little bit more. But that's everything. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do so, and I'll see you guys in the next one.